What if one of the most beloved Outlander characters doesn't make it to the end? Not because they die, but because the show simply leaves them out. As the epic saga nears its conclusion, Outlander Season 8 is shaping up to be an emotional roller coaster, but it's already making one controversial move that has fans divided. Season 8 marks the grand finale of Outlander, the final chapter in a story that has spanned centuries, continents, and generations. But despite its sweeping scope and emotional weight, the show is saying goodbye to one key character, Jenny Murray, Jamie Fraser's sister. Her absence is surprising, especially since she should still be an active part of the story at this point. And for longtime fans, it's a disappointing omission. So why is she not returning? It comes down to the source material and timing. The upcoming season draws heavily from Diana Gabaldon's 9th book, Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, but the 10th and final book in the series hasn't been released yet. That leaves the showrunners to improvise an ending, and in doing so, they're focusing solely on the main storylines, primarily Jamie and Claire's. Unfortunately, that means characters like Jenny are being cut. Jenny briefly returned in Season 7 when Jamie and Claire traveled back to Scotland, and fans were thrilled to see her again after such a long absence. Originally portrayed by Laura Donnelly through Season 3, the role was recast with Kristen Atherton due to Donnelly's unavailability. Atherton brought a heartfelt depth to the character, especially in a moving scene where Jenny showed Ian a grave she had made for his daughter Isabel, a baby Jenny had never met, yet honored with genuine love and compassion. It was a beautiful moment that reminded viewers of Jenny's emotional strength. But despite that powerful return, showrunner Matthew B. Roberts confirmed Jenny won't appear in the final season. He explained that if a character's presence doesn't directly affect Jamie and Claire's story, it won't make it into the script. While that logic may help streamline the story, it leaves fans wishing for more, especially those who hoped Jenny would eventually join her family at Fraser's Ridge, maybe even witness the next generation of Frasers and Murrays growing up. With Jenny's storyline cut short, the final season is now expected to focus on high-stakes drama and possibly another major death. But here's where things get tricky. In the book, Jamie is believed to die during the Battle of Kings Mountain, a major event in the American Revolution. Brianna discovers this through one of Frank Randall's history books, which records Jamie's death as a historical fact. After Jamie doesn't return from battle, Claire is devastated, convinced he's gone for good. Then comes the twist. Jamie isn't actually dead. Claire, ever the intuitive healer and deeply connected to Jamie's soul, senses he's still alive. She finds him and brings him back, making for a classic Outlander moment where love quite literally saves the day. But here's the catch. The show already used a very similar fake-out in Season 7. Remember when Claire thought Jamie had died in a shipwreck? The emotional fallout was intense. She isolated herself, turned to alcohol, spiraled. But then Jamie reappeared, alive and well, having taken a different ship at the last minute. That dramatic twist hit hard the first time, but doing something similar again just one season later risks feeling repetitive instead of gripping. In the books, these events are spread out over years. The shipwreck scare and the Kings Mountain battle happen in entirely different story arcs. But on screen, back-to-back near-deaths could lose their emotional punch. So what can the show do to keep things fresh? A smart move would be shifting the focus. Instead of relying on another Jamie might be dead storyline, the writers could highlight Claire's strength as a healer, and how she may have been preparing all along to save him. That would give her character depth and keep the plot from falling into familiar patterns. Interestingly, the show already hinted at Frank Randall's influence in Season 7. Brianna was seen flipping through one of his history books, the ones where he recorded the Scottish role in the American Revolution. But that detail was glossed over, replaced quickly by a scene with a letter from Roger. In the novels, though, Frank's writings play a much bigger role. He even leaves Brianna a letter that warns her about a prophecy involving the Frasers and hints at Jamie's fate at Kings Mountain. It's as if Frank, even from the grave, was trying to guide Brianna towards saving Jamie, a final act of love from the man who raised her. This part of the story deserves more attention. Brianna's relationship with Frank has always been layered. She grew up believing he was her real father, only to discover the truth about Jamie later. And even then, she felt guilty. Like loving Jamie somehow betrayed Frank's memory. But Frank, in his own way, gave her permission to embrace her roots. His research, his warnings, his quiet care, all of it pointed to helping her connect with her true family. That's why, if Outlander really wants to stick the landing, it should bring that emotional thread full circle. Let Brianna find peace with both her fathers. It doesn't need to be flashy, just something simple and powerful that brings closure. So, where does that leave us? Season 8 has a lot to tackle. It's wrapping up a story that technically isn't finished on the page. It's cutting characters, managing expectations, and taking creative risks. Dropping Jenny might streamline the narrative, but it leaves fans wanting more. Repeating Jamie's near-death twist might fall flat, unless they approach it from a new angle. And if the show really wants to honor everything that came before, it should tie up loose ends, especially the emotional ones. With careful choices and the right emotional payoff, Season 8 still has the potential to give Outlander the ending it deserves, one that leaves fans fulfilled, not frustrated. Let's hope it rises to the challenge to